Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 815, I think. Yeah, it's 815, not 14, I think. How's everybody doing? I'll be here for the next hour trying to answer as many of your immigration law related questions as I can. How are you guys? Happy Easter to everybody who celebrates. I am in Washington, D.C. I will be here for the next hour trying to answer as many of your immigration law related questions as I can. If you're new to the show, please let us know where you're watching from. For all of our Christian brothers and sisters, happy Easter. I hope you had a wonderful day. I tried to do the show a little bit early or a little bit later. I figured people were probably doing church stuff. I took an earlier flight to St. Louis from DC because things were sort of crazy weather-wise in St. Louis. And I wanted to make sure that I got here for my early morning asylum interview in Arlington, Virginia tomorrow. TikTok's acting a little funny. I might just ditch it. Let's go ahead and say hello to everybody. If you haven't, let us know in the comments where you're from and what you're doing and who you are. We would all love to say hello. Looks like Nurse Laura is getting ready to vamonos down south. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started. DDR, hello.
Hey Jim, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you doing?
Good. Happy Easter to everybody listening, to as well and your family.
Awesome.
I'll go right into it. Jim, it's just um advice. So we have a 9130 pending, and it's pending now. Like this month hits 15 months. Last month it was showing that there was like 2 months left on the portal. I know we should not be trusting the progress bar on that thing. On USCIS.
Mhm.
But last month it was showing 2 months. We went in this past week, and then it says it's has an additional 9 months now. I'm just wondering, like, where should we sue? I know you talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
Is this an
I
overseas case or an adjustment case?
an adjustment case. My husband is the petitioner. For me.
Yep.
Um, yeah, and I'm just wondering, like,
Were you in
when you
status?
think.
Were you in status at the time that you filed?
Well, no, I only had DACA.
And so you filed a standalone I-130.
Correct, because we spoke a couple of times. My plan was still to try to do advanced parole. I'm still waiting. I'm waiting to see how everything in the nation is going with everybody being detained, how that's if that's escalating or not escalating, and if I should pull the trigger in September or not.
Well,
Um,
so let's do this. Let's think of it this way. If you oh, the Cardinals are going to score. Sorry, I got the Cardinal game on. If
that's
you
all right.
I also have undiagnosed ADHD. If your I-130 was approved, if your I-130 was approved tomorrow, what would you do differently?
So, um, of course, like. It, yes, there's two paths, right? Either I do the advanced parole and, you know, go and come back and hopefully be able to get a reentry, and then do the green card process, the I-485 here in the United States, and do the entire process over there. The second option, yes, is to get the I-130 approved. If that gets approved, is to apply for the 485, but then do the green card and interview things in my home country in Brazil. Um, which it can be trickier. Um, I know those are the two paths right now that I have. I'm
Yeah,
just wondering.
but you were asking me, Jim, should I sue? And the reason I asked, what would you do differently if your I-130 was approved today, is because let's just assume that we all agree that a lawsuit will relatively quickly get you your I-130 approved, probably in about 6 weeks, right? So let's say that.
Okay.
Do you want what are you going to do differently if you have that I-130 in hand? And if not, if not much, because you're worried about advanced parole, you're worried about Trump, you're worried about people getting kicked out or whatever, then I might just sit on the I-130. So that's why I'm pushing. Like, why do you want to
Oh,
spend
I see what you're talking
why do
about.
you want to spend $5,405 if you're not going to immediately run to, do your next step? I guess that's my question. I'm trying to help you think it through.
No, yeah, I see what you're talking about. That makes more sense to see. if it would eventually get approved until then. Do you think I have a better chance? Like, let's say, like my advanced parole is still pending. It's showing. I applied like literally a month and a half ago. Um, it says like 2 months on the portal or whatever.
Right.
Um, do you think my chances are a little bit better if my I-130 is approved before I go in and do the advanced parole, or USCIS literally doesn't give a crap's
Yeah.
ass about it?
Oh, crap's ass. No, I mean, normally we would do sometimes in my mind, I like to do the advanced parole first, and I like to not necessarily even have the I-130 on file because, when you're asking for DACA advanced parole, the purpose of the parole is to leave the United States, go visit your sick
Right,
grandma.
which I am.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I don't necessarily even like to hype up the I-130.
gotcha.
So I probably would have done things in reverse order, but at the very least, if you don't have advanced parole in hand, what I would say is I'd probably just sit on the I-1. Your spouse is obviously a U.S. citizen.
Yes, US born. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we know we're not going to do much and we want to sort of see how things go, I would sit tight until the advanced parole gets a little further along, maybe 7, 8 months, and then sue for the I-130 at that point.
Right.
But
Okay.
it'll probably be approved by then, and I think there's a decent chance that the advanced parole maneuver for DACA might be going away. I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I
It
have a
would-
feeling about
it
that
wouldn't
too. I
surprise
know he
me.
did in the first term that he ran. He ended it, and then Biden put it back on.
And
Um,
I have a friend who's an attorney. She's a great attorney in Kansas City, and one of her clients had advanced parole with DACA, but nobody knew he also had a deportation order. So when he went back home, they wouldn't let him back in. So she sued to get him back in, and he came back in. But obviously, you don't want to worry about all that stuff.
no, the good thing about it, I did have a deportation case on me, and I saw a judge in January, and she dismissed it.
Well, that's good.
Um, so yeah, like one of the biggest hurdle, I've dealt with that, thank God.
Yeah, so
Um,
I probably if nothing's going to change for you tomorrow with an I-130 in hand, approval in hand, then I would just sit tight.
okay, and just a follow up on the advanced parole. If let's because I said like I was planning on returning like a certain date in September. If because again I have work, I have a life here, so I cannot just take 2 3 months like a lot of people do. Um, to go to their country. Like my plan was literally to go to like back to my country for like 5 days and come back because
I would
again I also have work.
I would imagine that 90% of people who get DACA advanced parole are not gone for more than 2 weeks.
Okay, okay, good. Um, and I know in Investor he says like, oh, which day you're thinking of returning? Um, if I return like a week, if I leave like 2 weeks before that and I return a week before the date that I put in, would that still be okay? Do they just only care if they don't want me to return the date that I put, the date after that I put, right? They don't want me to return beyond the date that I put in for, right?
In my whole life, I've never heard of anybody making an issue out of the dates that somebody puts on a request for advanced parole. Never. So I think they just want to make sure that at some future date that you have a plan, that you're going for a particular reason, and I think that's the end of the analysis.
Okay, understood. That makes sense. Um, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for all you do, and I hope that you, your family, and everybody who celebrates today had a good time.
Thanks, buddy. See ya.
Bye bye. Thanks.
Stay touch. Yep. All right, all right. That was our friend DDR. Let's go over to Mona, and then we'll go to Carter. Hi, Mona.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for everything that you do.
Sure.
I have a few questions. I'm gonna make them real quick, okay?
Sure.
So I'm here on H-1B visa through my employer. They submitted my I-140, but that's in process.
Okay.
I also got married last October to a U.S. citizen, so we applied for adjustment of status. So they are two separate processes. I don't want to mix them or cancel one before the other.
Smart.
Okay, now I also have a lawyer for my adjustment of status, and um, I she. So the question: have you ever been cited I mean, I told her that I had traffic violations, and she said, "Oh, if it's there less than 500, it's fine." But I'm reading through the internet and YouTube that you have to like disclose the citation that you had.
Is your lawyer, have they been practicing law a long time? Because that was true like 10 years ago, but now you got to disclose all that stuff.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, yeah, she has been around for a few years, but now I'm fact checking her because of
Yeah.
that. I got
Yeah.
certified copies of my citations. I mean, they have been downgraded to non-mobile violation, but still. So do you think I should, because we have submitted the adjustment of status with citation saying that question answering no. So do I have to disclose that at the time of the interview or upload it now?
Yeah. Either way. Either
Either
one's
way.
fine. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I had an Islamic marriage. It was nothing legal. Do have you to the when it says have you ever been married?
You're talking about a different marriage than the marriage that's
Yes, yes. And that was Islamic. It was not legally in courthouse or anything.
okay. What state did that happen in?
I mean, I was in Louisiana, he was in California.
And was it a proxy marriage, or you got married together in the same place?
Yeah, we were like I was like we couldn't move together, but it was an Islamic marriage, not legally. So he will come, I will go. It was like that, and the reason we didn't get married like in courthouse is because of my country. If you're marrying a non-citizen of your country, you have to get permission from that country. Yeah, so that's why. And then I was like, okay, let's get married, and then we deal with this later. But that marriage fell through.
So you had no marriage license. You didn't record it with the state government. Nothing.
Nothing. No.
And how did it end?
In a divorce in Islamic way.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't believe that we ever list those, because those aren't legally valid marriages. Like
Yes.
it couldn't have been used to get you an immigration benefit or anything. So
Yes.
I guess the one thing I would think through is whether you've ever told a government official that you were married based on that marriage before. That's the only.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your question for me about that?
So do I have to disclose it? Have you ever been married before this marriage? Yes or no?
I mean, I'd be ready to talk about it, and I'd certainly be ready to have your spouse talk about it if they
Okay.
ask about it. But
Okay.
no, it's not. It wouldn't be a legally valid marriage.
Oh, so the answer is no. Okay. Now the third question. I am currently pregnant, and then when I submitted, I did not get the polio vaccine. Hello, I did not get the polio vaccine because I got it when I was younger, but my vaccination record, the civil surgeon would not recognize it because the way it was written.
Yeah.
So what do I do?
Did the civil surgeon note that you're pregnant?
Yes.
And did they say that because you're pregnant, you can't get the polio vaccine?
Yes.
Yeah, you're good to go.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Now, okay. Well, last question. My husband, he got his citizenship. He came here on a K1 visa. That was back in 2009, and then they were living together. I don't know the thing is that he's a U.S. citizen now. They got divorced in 2014. He got his citizenship in 2015.
On the 3-year rule or the 5-year rule?
I think they were still married all that time. I really don't know. They were like separated on and off. I don't know, but they were married. They were married 2009, and they got divorced 2014. He got his citizenship 2015, and never sponsored anybody for a green card since then.
Yeah, but it's still, we call this a pivot case when somebody gets their green card.
Yes.
Through did you know your spouse before he married the person that got him his green card?
No. I was not even in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. Well, so the reason when I mentioned earlier that I wanted, so things like your Islamic marriage before,
Yes.
or his prior marriage and the timeline.
Yes.
You guys have to know each other's stories backwards and forwards.
Yes. Yes.
And so like right now, it seems like, are you saying to me that you're a little bit worried that maybe he got approved for citizenship without them knowing that he was going through a divorce?
I mean, he got divorced before the citizenship.
Yeah. So what was the start date on his green card? Do you know?
He came in here on a K1 visa back in 2009.
Yeah, but that would take at least
No,
a year.
sorry. 06. He came 06.
06. Okay.
Yes.
So he probably applied on the 5-year rule. All you really need, I mean, first of all, if I were you,
Yes.
if I were getting ready to file a green card case, a pivot
Yes.
case, I would tell my husband, before we eat dinner tonight, honey, we're going to get online and we're going to fill out this form called the G639, which will get his whole immigration file. Because
Yes.
you, Mona, you want to do a whole timeline of his immigration journey and then your
Yes.
immigration journey so that you know that shit backwards and forwards when you go to the interview.
Okay. G639.
Correct.
Okay, and then
Free.
how we file that?
You just file it online, and you just say, you file it for him, not for you, and then you say, when there's a thing, what are you asking for? Say all immigration documents.
Okay, all immigration documents. Okay, thank you. Yes. So he got divorced before he even got his citizenship, and
I mean, that's okay. That's why there's the 5-year rule, but
yes,
everything's still fair game. So
yes.
The most important thing is that you know his story backward and forward.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, thank you, Jim. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Good luck, Mona.
Thanks.
She didn't ask me the most important question, which is, do you think we need a lawyer? And the answer to that is yes, I do. I think I'm growing my hair out a little bit. It's starting to look, I'm looking a little bit like, do you guys know who that Walter Goggins is? He's got that big forehead. I got a big ass forehead. My kids call it a 5 head. Haha. But bump. All right, let's go to Carter. Hi, Carter.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
Doing great. Happy Easter, and just
Thank you.
want to say thank you for everything you always do. And straight to the question. So I feel like it's a trap, but the new rule about registering when you're undocumented, I was wondering you uh, if you came in with a tourist visa and then adjusted to a student visa, got an OPT, and did all the fingerprints, do I still need to register for this or no?
Nope.
Okay, because, and then I guess my second question, if I did have to register, would be, is there a timeline on when you need to register? So, like, let's say,
As of this moment, right now, there's no deadline for registering contained in the thing, except for kids that turn 14. That's the only deadline contained in the rule so far.
okay, because I was gonna ask, like, if let's say I was gonna adjust next month and then I registered a few days before I adjusted, would that, like, they wouldn't have an issue with that, right?
As the way things are written now, I don't see how they could. Not to say that they wouldn't,
Uh-huh.
but so far the regulation's pretty loose. It's got a lot of holes in it.
Okay.
And
And
that plan that you just said, to, if you're going to register right before you file, this may be advice that we may be giving to the people at our firm. I'm not saying that for sure, but
okay,
that's not a bad thought.
okay. Just because I don't like, I feel like with the rule, it's like register and we could come find you, or don't register and we could deny you later. So
Right. So nobody knows about the enforceability. Nobody knows right now if what the consequences of failing to register will be. Right.
okay.
So we're just going to have to wait and see. But my understanding, the way I read the rule, is if you are here on a non-immigrant visa, you don't have to
Mhm.
register.
Okay. And I know this is probably not something you want to do, but I feel like if you had maybe a GoFundMe or something, because you give out free advice, and
Oh
is
yeah.
there
No, I'm good.
advices?
We do a show a couple times a year where I raise money for this immigrant rights group in St. Louis, and we'll just do that again. Don't worry about that. I'm good. Thank you so
All right,
much.
sir. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Have a
brother.
great day.
Yep. Later. All right. The GoFundMe pops up again. Let's say hi to Mark and then King D and then our friend Lagos. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Happy Easter to you and the family and your listeners.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, I have a couple of questions for you.
Okay.
I'm have an interview coming up, and I wanted to know. I have my driver's license in a different state from where I'm living,
Bad idea.
but I also have an ID for that state. Are they going to require just driver's license, or can I use my ID that I have?
The problem is you won't know before you go to the interview what they're going to ask you. So most of the time, what they ask for is your driver's license.
I have.
Why? But let's talk about why you have a driver's license that is a different address.
It was a property that I still own in that state.
Right, but you don't live there. So why do you have a driver's license in a state that you don't live in?
Well, I have it rented out and I get a tax break on it.
Not good answers. I mean, would you have to take a driver's test again in the new state that you're in?
No.
So why not get a driver's license at your current address?
For the tax break on that property.
Yeah. That's, to me, when you start talking about tax breaks, that they start thinking, you're telling one government agency one thing and another government agency another thing, and then who's living in that house?
It's a rental property.
Yeah, who lives there?
I just have renters.
So you said you have an interview coming up. What's the interview that you have coming up?
Marriage base.
It's a marriage base. I have my wife here with me.
Hello.
Hello.
So for lots of reasons, I mean, literally the first or second thing they're going to ask you is, please give me your green card or your passport, your driver's license. It's going to be the very first question out of their hand. So
My passport has my address here in Georgia on it.
great. But what I'm saying is the first question they're going to ask you is, I need to see all your IDs. So give me your passport, give me your driver's license. And so you're going to start off the interview saying, I live with this woman, my wife, at this address, but oh, by the way, I have this driver's license where I used to live before I was married to this person.
Right.
So you're starting off the interview on the wrong foot, to say the least. You're creating a problem for no reason. And I'm just the immigration lawyer. I don't give a rat's butt about tax breaks.
Right.
And they don't mess around in Atlanta. I'll just say that. What else you got for me?
All right. The my house insurance
Okay.
policy. I'm using that documentation also for the house insurance that's in South Carolina and the house insurance here.
Uh-huh.
I have my wife's name on it, and then I'm using that as evidence.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be an issue with that, although it's a South Carolina.
You mean that you have two pieces of property and that they're both insured and that your wife's named as an additional insured on both pieces of property?
That's correct.
No, that's no big deal.
But it was you put it you recently add my name on it.
Yeah,
If it's
that's okay.
a red flag.
No, that's fine. When people get married, they start adding each other to extra stuff. It's not a red flag.
Okay, because we don't want them to think that because we have the interview, then we go ahead and add the name.
So my response to that is, we're just getting our shit together as a happily married couple.
Okay, good. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Is it?
The driver's license is the only red flag.
Yeah, it's an easy problem to avoid.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Tim.
you.
Well, guys, yeah, good luck for sure. All right, we got King D's nuts, then Lagos, then Albert. King D, hello.
Hello, Jim. Just funny what you said.
Hello. Never had the chance to say D's nuts. I say it. So I'm 15 years old that way,
Okay.
maybe 12. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, Jim. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you.
Okay. So I have maybe 3 questions, depending on how you're gonna answer the first ones.
Okay.
So I'm currently trying to hire a law firm to represent my case,
Mhm.
and I do understand that you guys charge $5,500, right?
For
AOS.
Yep.
Okay, and that fee includes interview.
Depends on where it is. You might have to have travel stuff, but yeah.
Oh, it's here in Maryland.
Yeah, so Maryland, I think we charge an extra $1,000 because we have to send. We still don't have an attorney in DC.
Okay. So now,
Yeah.
here's the big question. So I don't have my the first passport that I entered with.
Okay, what happened to it?
I lost it. It was like, I don't know, 13 years ago.
Okay, and have you gotten a visa since then and entered on the new passport?
I have different passports, because it's expired after 5 years. So I was renewing my visa here the whole time. Not the whole time. Well, I lost it like.
So in other words, you entered 13 years ago and you haven't left since?
Nope.
Oh, okay. What proof do you have that you have a valid entry?
Well, nothing other than the I-94.
You do have the I-94?
I had it. I had it switched because I came with a A1 visa. Then it got adjusted later on to a A2.
Yep.
So I have that one, that I-94. But
Okay.
if you go online, you can find the first one. It's not the same as the second one.
But the second one didn't involve entry into the United States. It just involved the change of status from A1 to A2.
Right.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, so we have to prove up that you have a valid inspection, that you were inspected when you entered. That's the most important thing. How about, do you know where you did customs that first time you came?
DCA.
Yeah, that's right. I just landed. So I would probably do a CBP FOIA just to see what shakes loose. Do you have any way of getting information about your old passport from your old country, your home country?
I have a picture of it.
Okay.
With the visa and everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. So we can prove it all up. You just don't have the original passport.
Right. I don't have the original one. I lost it. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's all right. That happens.
Okay.
Yep.
So therefore, I don't need to ask the third question. I was like, do I need a waiver or anything, or what's going to happen?
No, the only waiver you need, there's a waiver for diplomats, so you'll need that thing, but that's not a big deal.
Okay. All right. So I'll probably contact your law firm and everything. I'll talk to the wife and
awesome. We'll be here. Thanks, D.
Thank you so much.
See you, bud.
Right.
All right. That was King D. We got Lagos and Albert, and then Alios 45. Lagos, hello.
Hello, Jim. How are you today?
I'm great. Happy Easter. Happy Sunday.
Happy Easter, Jim. Happy Easter. I'm glad to talk to you for the second time. I'm sorry for the first time I got cut off. Somebody called me and I was cut off, And the second time I called you, but I was in the middle of meeting. And I like your comment saying, sometimes people call and they fall asleep. It was nice.
One time the guy set up the camera. This is when we still did it on the camera. He was sitting on the floor with his back on the bed, and he set the camera up, looking at him like from the couch, and he was there sleeping the whole time. It was hilarious. I mean, he was literally snoring. It was great.
Right. All right. So let me jump on my question. So here it's I got two friends of mine that I have to ask question about.
Okay.
And if you don't mind, I'm gonna give a little bit background history.
Yep.
So here we got Abdul and Zaina. Abdul came to United States more than a decade, and he got asylum granted. After that, he applied for the family to join the petitioner. Yes. So unfortunately, there was a little bit problem with a misrepresentation on the interview, and this misrepresentation was a little bit the document that has been presented to the embassy was a fake for marriage.
It was about the wife, right? Like the kids got approved, but the wife didn't. Is that the one?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then for the matter of fact, the kids before they got approved, they had to tell Abdul to have the DNA test, to know that they're kids, the thing like that. And then Abdul managed to travel back home to get, married to the wife. And as the file was sent back to the United States, and after 10 years, finally he got approved, you know.
Wow. Okay.
So the wife came to join the husband, and then now the wife is eligible to apply for, immigration benefits. Here we're talking about, citizenship.
Yeah.
So the question is, Abdul is asking, what's gonna go, what's gonna say about the form? Is it gonna mention the misrepresentation
Sure.
after
Sure.
being approved, or something else?
That's one of their favorite tricks. So
Okay.
you made a misrepresentation. We gave you a waiver. We allowed you into the United States, and now we asked you to fill out the N-400. And on the N-400 is, have you ever given any documents or information to the government that was false, fraudulent, or misleading? And people say no, and because they think that they got forgiven, right? But then USCIS turns around and says, ha ha ha, you already admitted to us that you gave us a false document. You admitted this in the past, but now you're trying to trick us so that you can get your citizenship. So we're going to deny you for your citizenship, not because you gave us that document, but because you now lied on your N-400. That's a great old trick that they still do.
Okay. So in that case, when Abdul said yes for Zaina for about the misrepresentation, so what kind of documents he have to
Well, I would say
give?
so. I would say a couple things. Number one, Zaina needs to do a FOIA of her State Department file and her USCIS file. But more importantly, Zaina needs an attorney to file her N-400, because you have to be. There's about 7 questions that you guys have to be that Abdul and Zaina need to be really careful about in answering, because any of those missteps, they'll nail them for that.
Okay. Okay. So the other thing is, here we so they're gonna be the proof to in a kind of a proof documentation to send, as well as the 601A waiver approval letter, something.
I mean, when they file,
Yeah.
no, it'd be a 601 waiver, and yeah, they'll. I mean, again, this is why we want to do a Freedom of Information Act request for anything that was ever filed for her, so we have a firm understanding of what her file is. You don't need to send prior approval notices to USCIS when you're applying for N-400. No.
Okay. All right. So now a little background about my second friend, Ali and Aziza.
Ali and Aziza, got it.
Yes. So Ali came to the United States as a refugee,
Okay.
and the when he before he got his green card, for some reasons he got lucky to have his refugee travel document approved.
Okay.
And he went back to Africa without a green card, and he get married. And he was lucky again to come back to the United States.
Yeah, he was.
Right now, after like 6 months, he got his green card. Okay. And the wife now has a baby, and he want to apply. I'm sorry.
Did he get married before or after he filled out the 485?
No, he's still a green card holder.
Right, but you said he got married, right? You said he got his refugee travel document, then he got married,
Yes.
then he got his green card, right?
Yes. So he
filed. What I'm asking is, did USCIS know that he had gotten married when he got approved for his green card?
That evidence, I don't know if the UCS knew.
Yep.
But right now he has a green card. He got everything, every proof that he went to Africa and come back before changing his status as a green card holder. Now the wife have a kid, and he wants just to apply for I-130 for Aziza. And Aziza, She is a refugee in Africa, in an African country.
Yeah.
The only document she has is a refugee travel document from Africa
Yeah.
instead of the passport. So, do you think that number one, Ali is eligible to show that he was married before receiving his green card? Number two, do you think that in documentation, like a travel document, to be accepted in USCIS as a documentation that prove the nationality of Aziza?
What is the nationality of Aziza?
Aziza, she is Burundian.
Burundi. Okay. I
Yes.
would say that, we're talking about the Trump administration, right? And so this is going to be really hard to pull off to get this approved with. I mean, she doesn't have any identity documents, basically. And then the bigger question that I thought you were going to ask me is, Jim, is his green card at risk? Should he not have gotten married before getting his green card? And the answer to that question is, I don't know.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? So I'm worried
Yes.
about your friend.
Mhm.
What about the kid? Is he going to file an I-130 for the kid too, or what?
Yeah, actually, that's what he was planning to do. And he asked me the question, say, hey, I got my friend Jim. He's the best in the world. That's he gonna answer to this question before you do what you gotta do.
The big
And
thing.
then
The big thing is, I'm worried that he wasn't supposed. I don't know that there's no rule that I can think of right now that I actually know of that says a refugee can't get married before getting their green card. But I'm more worried about whether he disclosed it when he got his green card and what they would have done if they'd known it. That's what I'm worried about.
yeah, okay. It seems like most of refugees when they arrive here and are eligible to apply, they apply when they have those receipt notice. They as well they're eligible to apply for travel documents, which he did, and so he was not yet received and they don't have interviews anyhow. So yeah, I think like that. So I don't know what he did on the application. I don't know.
All right. Well, he can
So
call himself. Thanks for the call, Lagos. I'm going to move on. Okay, bud.
yeah, one more question, Jim. Just I'm gonna be quick. So um, Abdul has recently lost his passport card. So what is the ways that he has to do, because with current division, somebody can pick it up and try to find the full employment about it. So is there any move that you can give to Abdul?
No, none. I got nothing. I don't know about other countries' passport cards.
Okay.
Thanks, Lagos. All right. We'll see you later. Let's go over to Albert and then Alios. Hi, Albert.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, but your audio is terrible. Gotta go. Alios 45. Hello. Hello, Alios 45. You're on mute.
Hey, how's it going, Jim?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. Hey, I have a question for my little brother.
Go for it.
So he came in here in 2014 as an F1 student. We both from Morocco, and him and his wife got married in 2019. Didn't
Okay.
work out. He
Yep.
got locked up. He got released
up?
over stuff. Yeah, he got locked up over a criminal mischief, breaking her phone. He got released. They got back together. He got locked up again. She put a protective order against him. They hit him with breaking protective order with a phone number, with a phone call. Those charges were dismissed. He got released. He's on VAWA. He got
He's
an
on.
EEA.
What do you mean he's on VAWA? You said he was the one getting charged.
Yeah, he was the one getting charged though, but when he got out, he filed for VAWA because his wife was like kind of like beating him up, calling the cops on him, and
Calling
shit
the
like
cops on
that.
Calling the cops on him
Yeah.
is VAWA. What's the violence that he suffered?
Well, the violence he suffered is like she's always threatened him to send him to immigration, send him to Morocco. He's a good kid. He's always been straight. Unfortunately, he met the wrong person, pretty much. Anyways, my question is right now where he at. He has a VAWA application. So he has an I-485 and the I-360. He received he received a request for evidence for good moral. So hear me out. So those charges were dismissed, and he has another um, possession of paraphernalia conviction on his record. They sent him an RFE. He responded to it. My question right now, his I-765 was terminated, stating he received the benefit through other means. We haven't gotten the denial notice, neither his lawyer, and we're just trying to help him out, get his shit together. Well, he has a pending I-485 and I-360. No work permit. Got terminated.
Had his wife filed for him before they had their problems?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was withdrawn because
So the 765 that he had approved
was through VAWA. Was through VAWA.
not through the case she filed.
No.
So that's strange that they revoked the 765.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think they're going to give him VAWA. I don't think they're going to give him anything. I think they're going to try to kick him out. So
I know.
If he's messing around with drugs and has been in trouble with the police twice and violated a protective order, I mean, that case is going to removal, and I don't think anyone's going to give him VAWA.
He's been through removal. I mean, it was terminated last year.
Oh, so that's how he got the EAD. How was he in removal?
Yes.
How do you end up
It
in
wasn't
removal?
because of breaking protective order. But it was dismissed, and then he got out on bail. He got out on bail twice.
Yeah, but I mean, it was dismissed, but that was Biden's people. So Trump people would be happy to turn that case back on.
I know. I think that's why they denied his work permit renewal.
Mm-hmm. So, what's your question?
My question is, he responded to the RFE. Do you think they're gonna approve his I-360?
No.
They won't?
No.
Well, he does have like somebody that's, I don't know what to do. Well, what do you think we should do?
I don't think there's anything to do. I think he should start thinking about going back home.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll let him know.
Thanks, brother.
All right.
CA in the house. Hello, CA.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
So I didn't expect you to select me so quickly. I was just listening to the last guys. So I just have a few questions. It's kind of somewhat of a not long story, but anyway, so I know somebody who is most likely applying for AOS at this moment.
Okay.
They were, they had committed a few crimes before they applied for this AOS, and they've crossed me in a very negative way, and so I'm debating if I should report them or not. I don't know if that's really an immigration question, but I do have immigration questions. Just give me a second. So I went into the USCIS office in February, and I showed a national security, what is it? An officer basically they used a fake green card and a fake social security card to gain employment in 2022. And they left all this documentation, all this stuff at my house, and I didn't give her my name or my information or any of that stuff. I've spoken to this person since, and they said that they did not actually investigate them or have them like report them to another agent in the USCIS office. But I believe they did, because now this person's contacting me about their passport that they left at my house. If I report him, like if I make an official report and give them all this evidence of him committing crimes and, driving without a license or, possible like drug transactions and stuff like that, they're likely to get their AOS denied, correct? And removed under Trump's administration.
What's your immigration status?
My immigration status?
Uh-huh.
No, I'm a citizen.
Why are you messing with other people's immigration status?
This person was living at my house and lying to me, trying to get me to marry them for status, and then marrying someone else when they realized I wasn't going to do that.
Right. I would never help you mess with somebody else's immigration status. I would never give you tips or tell you what to do. I have no interest in helping anyone. There's enough people out there. It ain't happening on this show. You can call Tucker Carlson or some Republican assholes and ask them how to mess with somebody's immigration status. I want nothing to do with that.
Okay, well, thank you.
Jesus Christ. What an asshole. Hanging out with drug dealers and people with fake immigration paperwork, and he wants to pile on them because he got scorned. It's a bunch of BS. All right, let's go to Awo. Hello, Awo. You're on mute.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Thanks.
Good. How are you?
Great.
I have a question. So it's for a friend of mine actually. Her partner is currently in another country, but he got a B1, B2 visa to come to United States. He's planning on coming just for a visit, but since he has a visa for multiple entry, he plans on coming back a second time and they're gonna get married. Um, but they would like to do their wedding on the US Virgin Islands. Is this problematic?
So I'm laughing because I used to help my wife write law school exam questions for her immigration class.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let's backtrack, okay?
Okay.
The purpose of a visit visa is to come to the United States to visit and go back home. People shouldn't get visit visas, even multiple entry visit visas, with the plans of getting married somewhere down the line and applying for adjustment. Okay, that's inconsistent with the purpose of the visit visa, and it's what gets people in trouble. So what I would say is these people should not spend any time thinking about getting married or doing anything until the person is safely within the United States and has been here for 2 or 3 months, and then call me back and we can talk about getting married. Whether or not, and as far as the United or U.S. Virgin Islands, I have no idea what that counts for. Whether you can get married there or not, I just don't know. It's a territory. I would assume you get married there and start the immigration process. But again, they should just chill all that shit out until somebody's actually in the United States.
Okay. So if he was to get here, be here for 3 months, and they were to adjust his status, that's not a problem.
Unless the government thinks that he had that intent all along. No, it's not.
Okay. And is the U.S. Virgin Islands considered a territory? So, well, if it is, would they have immigration problems traveling back and forth?
Yes. Yep.
Got it. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks,
So you wouldn't advocate to do something like that?
Definitely not.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
See ya. All right. Adisumbo, I made Adisumbo laugh. Sorry, I shouldn't have said Jesus Christ on Easter. Ramatu's here. Hello.
Hi, Jim. How are you doing?
Great.
So I'm gonna give you a little rundown of my immigration story. So I got here in December 2017 on an F1 visa, and in April 2018, and applied. My mom applied for me for the I-130 under 21 for child of a lawful permanent resident. And it was approved in September 2019. However, I never received any approval notice until August 2022.
Okay.
And I called them, and I kept checking online on the website, basically on my account. It doesn't say anything at the time. All it said was I submitted a petition. So basically, I got tired of waiting, and I called around August 2022, and then I was able to speak to someone. Before, I couldn't speak to anyone because it was just a robot, like it wasn't a real person.
Right.
So I submitted an inquiry, and they got back to me. They told me that it was approved, and that I need to basically fill out like a form so they can send me my approval notice, which I did, and they sent it to me in September 2022.
This was the I-130.
Yes.
Got it.
And so 3 years after it was approved, And on the approval notice, it said that it was approved in September 2019. But on my online account, they updated it, that day,
After you called
Exactly.
and got a live person, not a robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and applied for the adjustment of status, after my visa became current in November.
This was
But
F2B or F2A?
no, I got here with an F1 visa.
Right. But your mom or dad applied for you?
Oh yeah, it's my mom. It's F2A.
F2A. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I applied for adjustment. By then I was over 21, way past. So they called me for biometrics in January 2023.
Yep.
And they requested for, the medical evidence in June 2023. And I didn't hear back from them until this year in March 2025, where they called me for an interview. And I went, and it went well. What I thought it went well. It was very brief, like 25 to 30 minutes. And the officer told me that she's gonna get back to me tomorrow because she has to leave early that day.
Okay.
So I waited for a week, and then when I checked, like 2 days ago, I saw the intent to deny. I was so confused, and I was like, "What's going on?" And they basically said that I failed to apply for within that 1 year of my visa becoming current, and I need to provide evidence within those 30 days. But what happened is I never knew that I was approved in 2019.
Right.
So I know I need a lawyer for this, and I don't know what to do from here. Do you think there's a way to win this?
I think there might be. Do you have the notice of intent to deny?
I do have it, yes.
Can you email it to me?
Yes, I can email it to you. I can do it. You want me to do it right now?
Yeah, well, yeah, we won't talk about it now, but email it over to me, and I'll look it over tomorrow on the plane ride home, and then we can talk. Just give me all your contact information, and I'll see if there's something I think we can do. I guess I was more worried, not so much about the 1 year deal. I was more worried about the aging out.
Yeah, I know. And I just want to mention that I was never out of status, ever.
That's good.
So I went to school, I graduated, I applied for OPT, I got the OPT. So I really did everything the legal way. I never ever fell out of status. So I really did not expect them to give me this answer.
Here's the $1 million question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's say that at some point, let's say that after they approved your I-130, that they mailed it. We know that, let's just assume they mailed it to an address, right?
Yeah.
Did you move it all after the filing of that I-130?
Here's the thing. I did file for the AR-11 after I moved, and I have the proof of that.
So you moved one time while the I-130 was pending, or more than one time?
One time.
And you have proof of the AR-11?
Yes.
And the AR-11 is dated before the approval notice on the I-130?
Yes.
Giddy up. Send me that too, okay?
Okay.
We'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Thanks, Ramatu.
Of course.
See ya. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to get to Yaya in just a minute. Nurse Laura wants me to have that Mario sound. Let me see if I can play it. Oh, hold on, I got to turn it up. Let's see here. When somebody asks me to help with messing with someone's immigration status, we'll play that. I think we need like a little battery of sounds. Like StreamYard should actually make it. Like I'd love to have the bad boy sound and that Mario's death sound. That would be a good one. All right, we got time for one or two more. Let's go to Yaya. Hi, Yaya.
Hi, Jim. How you doing?
Great, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. Quick question about naturalization.
Okay.
Is the process getting more difficult with what happened actually, or should I worry about something specific? No.
Well, those are two different questions. I don't think things have gotten harder yet on naturalization. I always thought this wouldn't be one of the things that they focused on early. So I think it's still a good time to apply, but I'll push back and ask you a question. Is there anything in your case that you're worried about?
Nope, nothing at all.
How'd you get your green card?
Through my dad.
Great. And how long have you had it?
Since 2021.
2021. So next year you're going to apply?
This coming December, I believe. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm not there yet, but I just want to know.
No trips more than 6 months?
No, just 3 weeks each year.
All right. Well, I think you're in good shape.
Well, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. I don't know what this is all about, but I just want to read it out loud because it's funny. You're wrong, bro. I found out there's a waiver for my little brother. So thanks for being cool, dude. You won't do shit to my bros because his ex-wife was a taker like 50% of anti-immigrants. Was a tweaker. Let's see. You're wrong, bro. I guess that's to me. I found out there's a waiver for my little brother. So thanks for being cool, dude. You won't do shit to my bro's case. His ex-wife was a tweaker. Like 50% of anti-immigrants. I guess that's good news. It sounds like good news. I hope he's not mad at me. But I guess you never know. Sarif is here. Hello.
Hello, Jim.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Good. So my wife and I, my wife is a F1 OPT student, was one.
Yeah.
And we have applied for adjustment of status.
Okay.
And we're wondering if we could do a closed loop cruise to Alaska, but it does have a stop in Canada.
So it's an F1 student married to a U.S. citizen, but the green card process hasn't started yet?
We have applied already.
And does she have advanced parole?
No.
No way. Nope.
So
Nope.
even if it's a closed loop?
Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope. Do a nice closed loop cruise of Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
Just until she gets advanced parole.
One more time?
Just until she gets advanced parole.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I know those have been pretty long as well. So
Yeah. Thanks, Sharif.
yeah, absolutely.
Good luck, brother. Yep. See ya. All right. Let's hear that one more time. Okay. Just since we're having fun, I'm gonna play the thing that I don't know why I'm still obsessed about this. I think I showed it before on here. But I love it. Hold on. I gotta make sure. Okay. Let me share my screen because it's my favorite YouTube clip and I play it over and over. Let me see. Present. Share screen. YouTube. Oh boy. I don't know why that makes me laugh so much, but I love that sound. It's so great. That guy is such a goofball. And the best part is when the lady goes, "What?" All right. So wish me luck for our asylum interview tomorrow. It'll be at 8:30 Eastern time. And then I'll try to head back to St. Louis, maybe do a show from the airport. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Sunday, rest of your Easter, and try to do something nice for each other. And we'll see you tomorrow or Tuesday. Bye, guys. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of invasion.